AEW Full Gear took place yesterday, November 23rd. So let's talk about what went down. So the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match for the AEW World Tag Team Championship, that was the first match on the card. Private Party, the House of Black, the Outrunners, and the Acclaim. So this match, to me, there was no control from the referee. The wrestlers were in and out of the ring. It was just chaos. It wasn't really a good match. It wasn't a good match at all. You know, we had the tension with the Acclaim going on, with Max and what is his name, Anthony, and it was just kind of ridiculous to me. And it was just a ridiculous match. Pretty much the Private Party, they hit their finisher on Max and they got the win. So, you know, we're going to see the Acclaim. They're going to break up soon. But this match was just a hot mess. And the referee, like I said before, he had no control. And, you know, at that point, why didn't they just make it a Fatal 4-Way Tornado Tag Team match? It was, yeah. And then MJF versus Roderick Strong. You know what? MJF, it looked like he lost a lot of muscle. You know, that was noticeable. But this was a decent match, a decent match. And MJF, he knows how to work the crowd. You know, there was some back and forth wrestling. Pretty much MJF won with a submission. The finish was flat. I expected the match to be a little better, but I would say overall it was decent. But that finish was just out of nowhere. And I was like, yeah, you know, I'm not really feeling it. And then we had the aftermath. MJF, he attacked Roderick Strong with a chair, and then what's his name, Adam Cole came out, and then not Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly came out. So they got that going on. This whole storyline program has not been good at all. And then Mercedes Moné versus Kris Statlander for the TBS Championship. You know what? I was surprised that Mercedes Moné, that she got a lot of offense. And it was to the point that it made Kris Statlander look weak at times, and I think too weak. But I found maybe the first half of the match, I thought it was somewhat boring, but then the match picked up and it was actually a decent match. But you know, Mercedes won with a roll up, and she is still the TBS champion. You know, so the match, you know, was some really good moments. Like I said, the first half was like a little boring because Mercedes Moné, she was, you know, in control. And then it was like, okay, when is Kris Statlander going to get some offense in? I just think that they made Kris look too weak. But overall, it was a decent match. And then Adam Page versus Jay White. The guys were outside of the ring more than 10 seconds. And to me, the match dragged. I was not a fan of this match. Pretty much Jay White won with a Blade Runner. And I'm kind of surprised because I thought AEW was building Adam Page as that, as a top villain, a top, bad guy. So I was kind of surprised that he lost back to back to Jay White. And then this match right here, this was probably my favorite. Well, this was my favorite match from the show. Will Ospreay versus Kyle what is his name? Kyle Fletcher. And you know what? This match right here, there was just some good action. The match was competitive. The issue that I had, with the not selling at times. But the guys, they had something. The crowd was into this. And Will Ospreay, we all know he's one of the best wrestlers. But Kyle Fletcher, he looked really good. Just his new look. The fact that he put on some muscle, and I think that Kyle Fletcher is going to go far. If AEW will book him correctly and continue to push him, I think that they can really get something out of him. But the thing to me, this match was really good, and they had the crowd into it, and then they just didn't know how to finish the match. They just went on for like an additional 10 minutes. And there was no reason. There was one point where, who was it? It was Will Ospreay. He had a tombstone to Fletcher on the outside of the ring, right? And then he hit another move to Fletcher when he got in the ring, and Fletcher kicked out. That should have ended the match. And then also Kyle Fletcher, he had a tombstone from the ring apron to the steel steps. To me, that was like really dangerous to do. It's just like there's no need to do those kind of dangerous moves because someone can really get hurt. Luckily, Ospreay didn't, but it just still didn't make any sense. And then he put him back in the ring, and I believe Fletcher hit the Tiger driver, and Will Ospreay kicked out. I'm like, what in the hell is going on? Like, make it make sense. And then eventually Fletcher, he hit the brainbuster on the turnbuckle and he pinned Will Ospreay. So it was a good match, but then they did way too much. It could have been maybe match of the year, but after that nonsense of not ending the match when they should have, it just brought the match down to me. It really did. And then also another thing that I don't like is that when they were taking turns hitting each other, oh, you hit me. And that happened in a few matches, at this pay-per-view. So I'm like, come on. And then that champagne celebration, I don't know what that was with Mina and Mariah. That was ridiculous. It was just simply baffling. I don't know why they even put it on the show. I thought Toni Storm was going to return, but pretty much they were celebrating, and Mariah, she betrayed, she was getting ready to attack Mina. Then Mina caught her. Mina speared her through tables that were on the outside of the stage. I don't know what that was. It was crazy. And then Daniel Garcia versus Jack Perry for the TNT Championship. I was not a fan of this match. It was a bad match. Daniel Garcia, he won the match with a sharpshooter. He is the new, the TNT champion. Yeah, that was hard to watch. And at that point, I was getting tired, and the show just started, it really started to drag. And you know what? It seemed like the crowd wasn't really into that match either. And then Ricochet versus Takeshita for I believe it's the international. Yeah, it is the international championship. And this was another match. At this point, I was like really tired. I was just like, okay, this is just taking forever. I'm like getting, fatigue, even though I'm sitting down watching the show. But when they do too much and they don't end the match when they should, it becomes too much and it becomes really exhausting, But so this match right here, I wasn't a fan of this match. I felt like it was boring at times. They had that striking exchange. Hey, you hit me. Let's take turns hitting each other. Hey, and they would do devastating moves, kick out after kick out. And then eventually Takeshita, he had a running knee, and then the Falcon Arrow to get the pinfall. So it's just like, I don't know. Swerve versus Lashley. I actually enjoyed this match. Pretty much Bobby Lashley, he dominated for the majority of this match. Eventually Swerve was able to get some offense in. At one point, Swerve, he hit a curve stomp to Lashley. He ran up the steel steps and he hit the curve stomp through the table. How Lashley turned, it was so obvious. So it was like it looked cool, but it was like a bad spot because it was just so obvious that Lashley jumped up to set himself up, for that move. But, Lashley, he won the match. He hit a spear and then the hurt lock, and he got the 1, 2, 3. So I'm glad that Lashley won. I don't know what they're going to do with Swerve because he lost 2 back-to-back, big matches. And then the main event. This was, I tell you, I don't know what this was. Orange Cassidy versus John Moxley. So first, I have to say that John Moxley, he's in the best shape that he's been in a long time, or maybe this is the best shape that he's been at, that he has been in. But let me tell you, John Moxley destroyed Orange Cassidy for the first half of this match. There was no selling. John Moxley was toying around with Orange Cassidy, and then he started to get serious, and Orange Cassidy, he kicked out of everything. And there was a couple of times where they were standing in front of each other and saying, okay, you hit me. I'm going to wait for this guy to hit me. Even though my championship's on the line, I'm going to just let this person hit me. Like that, it's ridiculous, and it's just baffling to me. I don't get it. And Orange Cassidy, I tell you, this guy is like Hulk Hogan. He can kick out of every move. For a guy that's, so small, and that is just like, he has to be like 150 pounds or 60 pounds. You would think that he's Hulk Hogan or Roman Reigns. It's just, I don't get it. Talk about doing devastating moves, talking about taking someone out, hitting he hit the Death Rider onto the steel steps, and that was not enough. And then also, why didn't they just make this a no count, a false count anywhere? Because they were outside of the ring over 10 seconds. So I'm like, what is going on? So pretty much, Jon Moxley, he turned, I guess that brief, I'm trying to remember what happened. Willer Yuta came out, interfered, and then eventually Jon Moxley, no, he got the, I'm trying to think what happened. Jon Moxley hit his finisher on the briefcase. I don't really remember, and he pinned Orange Cassidy. So anyway, he hit his move and he defeated Orange Cassidy. And then I believe who came out? Orange Cassidy's crew came out. No, they came out, and I think that the Death Riders beat them up. I believe. I don't know if it's in that order. And then Adam Page came out, and that was weird. I'm like, okay, isn't Adam Page a bad guy? Why is he coming out face to face? Why are they having to stare down? And then Christian came out to try to cash in the contract. Jay White stopped him. And I'm like, at this point, what is this? And then Jon Moxley and his crew, eventually they get to the back. They're trying to get in their truck. But before they can get into the truck, Darby Allin, hits their truck. He crashed his truck or his car into their truck. And then the Death Riders, they stole another truck from someone else. And Darby Allin, that was crazy. The fact that he really did that spot was just insane to me. This guy is really going to hurt himself or kill himself. He is insane. So overall, what I would say when it comes to AEW Full Gear, they had some decent spots, some cool spots. But overall, as a whole, this was not a good pay-per-view. I would give this a 4 out of 10. And it was 3 hours and 58 minutes, pretty much 4 hours. A good show. You could do a good show within like maybe 2 hours and 30 minutes to 3 hours. The thing is, I know they want to make the fans happy. They want to entertain us. But the thing is, they do way too much. And they have, pacing issues with their shows. So yeah, this was a 4 out of 10. Please let me know, how did you feel about the show? What am I missing from this show? What was your favorite match? Take care and be safe out there. Thank you.